Immigration could be a winning issue, you'd think, for the Republican Party, but it doesn't seem to be. Some House Republicans are pushing to pass immigration bills that would give amnesty to millions of people here illegally without securing the borders first. Congressman Mark Amodei is a Republican representing the state of Nevada, or Nevada as it's now known, and he joins us in studio. Congressman, thanks a lot for coming on.
Thanks for the invite, Tucker.
So, Democrats basically came out today in defense anyway, of MS-13. Their position on immigration has become so radical that you'd think Republicans would run for borders in this midterm, but they're not. Now you guys are trying to push through amnesty bills. Why?
Well, I think it's a mischaracterization of amnesty bills if you're talking to the discharge petition, because that's a procedural move to get a vote on the floor. Doesn't say you're going to vote for no borders, doesn't say you're going to support amnesty, says we really want to vote. And I expect the normal Republican process to play out in that vote. If it goes to the floor, it goes to the Rules Committee. Speaker can have a bill. You know, the nickname for the Rules Committee is the Speaker's Committee.
Yeah, no, I know.
When was the last time that Pete Sessions went rogue on Paul Ryan? So it's still firmly in control by the procedure.
But I'm a little bit confused as a matter of priorities. I mean, I don't think the people who would get amnesty under some of these bills are the worst people in the world. I understand their plight. I feel for them. But you wouldn't think that Republicans would be in favor of giving anyone amnesty or a path to citizenship before a permanent fix to the border problem, but they are.
Well, in fairness, Tucker, somebody probably should define amnesty on both sides of the issue, because quite frankly, when you look at the four bills, one of them is Bob Goodlatte's, one of them is whatever Paul Ryan wants, one of them is Hurd's, and one of them is the Democrats' Dreamers Act. But just like the Senate did a couple of months ago, if none of them get 218, nothing goes through.
But why aren't Republicans, look, the last election was about the border wall. You can argue about whether it works or not, but voters voted for that. They want it.
Yep.
It's a democracy. They should get it. They're not close to getting it, and Republicans aren't pushing it. And instead they're pushing to legalize people here illegally. It seems like an inversion of the priorities of voters.
Well, I think there's a few more facts out there. First of all, the administration asked for 74 miles of wall in the last Omni. That ends on September 30th. They got 90. The administration got a 10% increase in DHS funding. So that's not, we don't care about borders. I think you'll be surprised to find out if we ever get the chance to vote on something, because the House, Tucker, never has. Even the Senate's voted on this, and I've been critical of the Senate about what they don't do. If we ever get a chance to vote on immigration and border security together, which I would expect would happen, I think you'll be surprised to know how many people support border security.
Yeah, I mean, I don't believe that for a second, because the Republicans control everything. If they really wanted to build a wall, there would be a wall in place, but they clearly don't, or they would, right?
Well, I don't know if I'd say I wouldn't believe it for a second, because quite frankly, the folks who had the whole House to run was when Harry and the folks had 60 in the Senate.
Right.
But notwithstanding that, it's like, how much money can you spend before September 30th? You guys rightfully do shows that talk about what are you doing with the money and how come you're doing nothing. This procedural process is this. We'd like a chance to vote to let people like Tucker Carlson, Laura Ingraham, everybody else on the face of the earth judge me by how I vote. Heck, there was a deadline for March 6th, Tucker, that the president said, I want immigration taken care of. We blew by that. Nobody even kind of it's like, can we please? You know, I'm not a constitutional guy, but there is a line in the Constitution that says, the Congress shall regulate a system of naturalization. It's really our job. Final point is this. Does anybody think the status quo is good? Sanctuary cities, sanctuary states,
no, it's all
border
bad.
problems. It's like, we need to do our job and vote on it. That's our work product.
Last very quick question. If it turns out that people here illegally get set on a path to citizenship before we build a wall, will you see that as a victory or a loss?
Well, I don't think that's going to happen.
But if it did?
Well, if it did, then that's a problem. Then I judge people by how they vote.
Right.
That's fair.
Congressman, thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Today marks the one-year anniversary of the Mueller investigation. What have we learned 365 days in? Joe DeGenev has been taking